So in this video, I'm going to show you how I use this light and this light and this light to create these images. So hi everyone, this is Jiggie, a portrait and wedding photographer from the Philippines, and welcome to the channel. So in this video, as I said in my intro, I'm going to show you how I use these three lights to create the images that I showed you earlier. So what is this light? Well, this one, the first one, this is the Photix Nuada series. In other words, it is a very thin but soft LED light. The nice thing about this series is that number one, it can be powered via battery, and at the same time you can actually change the color temperature, which is important with the images that I'm going to show you later. Like here, let me show you. I can actually change the color temperature to warm until 3200 Kelvin to 5600 Kelvin. Now, the important thing about this particular light is that it already gives you beautiful soft light in such a small package. Unfortunately though, I no longer have the light that I used in this actual shoot. It is the Photix Nuada R3. This is the R4. The R3 is just slightly smaller, but it gives very similar effects to it. And the other light that I used is this one. This is the Photix M200R, which I used for one of the pictures that I showed you earlier. Okay. So as you can see here, I'm using the Photix Nuada R3. Aside from that being a slightly smaller than this one, the Photix Nuada R4, the R4 is powered using this one V-mount batteries, but the Photix Nuada R3 can be powered using NPF batteries, which are relatively cheaper than V-mount batteries. So I had my assistant holding on to this one, to the light, and I had it set at 3200 Kelvin. The reason why I had it set at 3200 Kelvin was because I wanted to bring out those beautiful blue skies. In order for you to bring out that blue sky during blue hour, well, for us here it's called blue hour, but it only lasts about 15 minutes. That's why we decided to shoot this one outside, just to be able to get a really nice blue sky. And we shot it near the road, and most of the lighting our roads here in the Philippines are warm or tungsten light. So I actually matched the color of my Nuada R3 to that of the tungsten light, then set the white balance of my camera to adjust to that. But what that basically does is that it puts in more blue into your image, therefore making the sky even bluer. Now, everything or all the lights that were actually being hit by my light or other lights that was already in the scene that were about tungsten would turn white. So that's exactly why I had to do it this way in order for me to create this image. So you see this lights here. Otherwise, you could see that they're actually tungsten. They turned white because this one became more blue, and the light that was hitting them from the Photix Nuada R3 was actually neutral in color. And I shot this one at 1/30 f2.8 ISO 1600. Okay, so now that I established this wide shot, I decided maybe it's time for me to actually step back and shoot with a longer lens so that I can shoot tighter. Okay, so by shooting, I shot them, I think this time with a 135 2.8 from Zeiss. This is the Zeiss Batis. I still had my assistant in the same place. You could see that my assistant photographer who was shooting this behind the scenes photo also set her white balance so that you can actually see the blue sky here already. So her white balance was set to tungsten. Okay, I hope you guys are enjoying this video so far, and if you are, please click that like button to help out the channel. And at the same time, if you want to learn more about off-camera flash photography, there are a ton of videos already in the channel. All you have to do is actually go through them. And if you want to get notified every time I upload a new video, hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. And from here, I was able to create this image. This one right now was 1/160 f2.8, a little bit overexposed in my camera. Again, I was shooting in aperture priority because I really do love shooting in aperture priority. If you want a more detailed explanation on why I love shooting in aperture priority, I'll put a link in the description below. Okay, so of course there are more shots from this series, and look at that, I was shooting at ISO 8000. Don't you just love this mirrorless camera? So particularly the Sony's. I actually have my ISO set at auto ISO, and even if it hits 8000, it doesn't bother me at all because look at how crisp the image still is. Okay, so after we were able to take these images outside, we decided to head back to the room and do one final layout. So this is what we did. I made her stay on the bed. I had the light similar to this, the Photix R3, behind her to create a nice hair light. Now, you could see here from the BTS photo or the behind the scenes photo that the hair light was nice, but I wasn't getting enough light here in front. And that's why I decided to bring out these two lights. This is what my photographer did to it. Basically, we created a clamshell lighting. Now, these lights are basically just babies of this one, except that this one has a built-in battery. So if you turn it on, you could change also the color temperature and the power. There, the color temperature can be warm or cool. And of course, you can change the power. So I basically had this one almost at 100%, this one is 50%, but more or less I just balanced the light between the R3 and this one to be able to create this image. You can see that I shot this one with my 85mm 1.4 GM from Sony, and my settings were 1/100, ISO 2000 at f1.4, and here's the clincher. You could see that I'm actually about 1 1/3 stop overexposed. The thing is, I can actually overexpose my image because all these lights were properly balanced with each other. So if I just wanted a brighter look to it, all I needed to do was overexpose, but I created that nice hair light here, and I created a very nice soft light here in front using these two small lights. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do consider subscribing to the channel, and while you're at it, click that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Now, if you want to see more of my images, you could always find me on Instagram. It's at Jiggie Alejandrino. Okay, till the next video.